From the publishers of Journey, What Remains of Edith Finch, and Outer Wilds comes 12 Minutes, a real-time, top-down, time loop thriller written by Luis Antonio and starring James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe. Talk about a cast. It is wonderfully refreshing and encouraging to see A-list actors appear in this little indie title, and I was predictably hyped to see how 12 Minutes would put these three to work. We're not wasting any time today. Someone slap this thing under the Meg of the microscope and let's get to it. Okay, probably not quite what you were hoping to see, but it's clear that one thing worked very well for 12 Minutes. Its story. Part home invasion, part psychological horror, I guess you could say, 12 Minutes plays violently with its twisty Hitchcockian plot, and the end product reads like a Stephen King rewrite of Memento. With each subsequent 10-minute loop of a date night gone wrong, our nameless protagonist, whom I feel inexplicably compelled to call Charles, dives ever deeper into the worst night of his life. After a beautiful, vulnerable exchange between Charles and his wife, Rachel. Yeah, we're going to call her Rachel. The couple receives a knock at the door. Failure to answer results in Willem Dafoe Kool-Aid manning said door, zip-tying the celebrity power couple, and before long, everything has gone to heck, and Charles is looped back to the night's beginning, a gasping, sputtering mess.
Jesus Christ.
But you see, Charles is very smart, and retains his memories of each loop, allowing you to incrementally advance the fascinating plot one disastrous rerun at a time. Along the way, you'll enjoy some predictably wonderful voice acting. I think it's fair to say that our celebrity leads very much earn their paycheck. But the writing itself is never quite as responsive as I'd hoped. For example, after one particularly horrific iteration of the loop in which I may have accidentally slit Rachel's throat, Charles begged aloud for the night to be reset, and his wish was promptly granted. To which he said,
"Oh, fuck me, are you serious?"
Like he was mad he got a chance to not kill his wife. And just to tangent from our scoring system, there is so much delicious black humor to be had in 12 Minutes that you really owe it to yourself to play with friends. Also, the final twist gave me goosebumps. So, the story is legit. How about the gameplay and content? Well, how much time do you have? 12 minutes, oh shit, what a coincidence. I'll only take 2. First, if you've got trigger-happy trigger fingers and just can't not kill something every few seconds, you may want to look elsewhere. Because 12 Minutes, though very violent at times, doesn't have a defined combat system per se, so I left this micrometric unscored, meaning it won't count toward our aggregate mega score. As far as our catch-all non-combat mechanics micrometric is concerned, 12 Minutes is an interactive, point-and-click adventure, emphasis on the interactive. Really, there is a surprising amount of depth packed into Charles's 3-room and a closet apartment. Almost everything, from an empty mug to a nondescript fridge photo, will eventually play a vital role in advancing the game's plot. Too bad that figuring out just how the game wants you to use said items often amounts to an infuriating game of whack-a-mole. The game's objectives are obscure to a fault. Sure, the main quest, escape the loop, is plain as day, but there's so little guidance as to how the game expects you to do that you'll no doubt be screaming along with Charles at the end of more frustrating loops, each of which will likely burn through 10, yes 10, not 12, minutes of your life. This leads me to the last gripe I have with 12 Minutes, its playability, a micrometric term I use to broadly account for quality of life. In gaming, quality of life refers to trimming away the time a player wastes dealing with unnecessary hindrances to otherwise satisfying and streamlined play sessions. You know how once Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow, and other time loop movies establish the loop, they end up splicing several into a montage so as to not waste your time? Yeah, that's the movie making a quality of life decision for its viewers. Unfortunately, 12 Minutes didn't get this memo, as you'll be playing every loop from beginning to end every single time until the game's conclusion. And while 12 Minutes does allow you to fast forward through repeat dialogue or even take a comically quick cat nap to shave away a few minutes here or there, well, we were just in desperate need of a better checkpoint system. Maybe something that allowed the player to select a certain point in the loop and quickly try out another solution. Or heck, at least a hint system of sorts, As is, at least half of your 6 to 8 hour playthrough will probably be spent slogging through something you've already done, which drags down the replayability and value of this title. So let's turn to our last metric, style. Now, 12 Minutes' top-down art style, while charming, means we don't get the benefit from added emotional weight of facial expressions. And the animations in 12 Minutes are a little sloppy too, with items magnetically snapping to their resting spots and characters walking directly through each other. These inconsistencies are easy enough to ignore in isolation, but in aggregation they made for a less immersive overall experience. As for music, well, it's fine, orchestral, ominous, and exactly what you'd expect. The same can be said for 12 Minutes' sound design, which I didn't really notice until I decided to start thinking about it, and I guess that's what you actually want from a game like this. So in the end, 12 Minutes does a lot right. and a not insignificant amount wrong. At $25, I can't call it a steal, but if you're on the fence, consider that the better this game sells, the more likely we are to see big-name voice actors sign on to smaller projects, which I think would be a boon to the industry at large. After averaging our micrometrics, 12 minutes earns an ever so slightly above average Megascore of 3.15 out of 5.